everybody, welcome back. It's been a minute since the last video. Honestly, I just lost motivation and I got really busy. But I do come to you today with another video, but unfortunately this one is really, how you say really stupid. It's really stupid. It's probably the stupidest video that I've ever come up with, but you're just gonna have to bear with me. And this one has very little structure, and just a lot of thoughts and opinions, and vibes generally. This one, because I've had the idea kind of what the title is gonna be floating around, might not be so clear as to what the topic of this video is, but generally what I'm gonna be doing is I'm just gonna be going over, I think, 25-ish Ethel Cain songs, and why I think they remind me of Supernatural. If you don't know me very well, then you definitely don't know that my favorite television show ever is Supernatural. I am leaving also my TV running photo streams in the background of this. So you're going to see many people in my life. And also, I do know that in my photo streams, there are 2 images of Jensen Ackles. So maybe you'll get to see them pop up. Maybe, maybe. And you might be wondering what struck this idea in me. Well, 2 of my favorite things ever are Supernatural and Ethel Cain. And if you know anything about Ethel Cain, you'll know that she loves Supernatural in a different way than I do, unfortunately. But she said, I'm pretty sure that she's over all that. So we might be safe. I also do want to put that out in the open really quick. There are a couple songs in here that have the how you say air of I don't want to say the words of the bad ship, but I've put them on here because you need a nuanced brain. You need a nuanced brain, and that's all it takes for this. So you need to lock in. You need to lock in. Okay, lock in. I'll explain it more when we get to it. I promise. It's nuanced. I'm not a freak. I'm normal. Just breathe. I've also taken the words of Ethel Cain to heart. I believe she said on Tumblr a while ago that anything bruises to present is okay to like publicly not push, but like talk about. And I think I've done that. If I haven't, please let me know. Like if there's anything that I've put in here that is like pre-bruises that she didn't want talked about, then I am so sorry. But I did like anything that had like the White Silas name, or anything else I didn't use. I believe. So just trust me that I tried. I did try. But with that long ass intro, we're just going to get right into it. And starting off extremely strong, we have Family Tree intro. And I will say that a lot of this is going to be thoughts straight out of my noggin because my notes are not extensive. They're not extensive like the Ethel Cain lore notes were, or very statistically analytical like the Crashbox notes were. So a lot of these are just a couple lyrics and then me saying who specifically or what I think the song mainly grabs my attention to. So we're just gonna go off vibes. But like I said, Family Tree intro. This song, my first note I have is, this is Sam Winchester down. And I'm right. Couple lyrics that caught my attention. Jesus can always reject his father, but he cannot escape his mother's blood. Real Supernatural fans know. And honestly, this is also coming off of a Supernatural edit I saw to the song of Sam Winchester. It genuinely changed my life a little bit. Hopefully if I can, I'm gonna actually ask the creator if I can put that edit on screen while I'm talking about this. If I can't, just know I'm gonna put a picture of Sam Winchester up and you're just gonna have to catch the vibe. But if I can get the edit, I'm gonna put it up. Another lyric. He'll scream and try and wash it off of his fingers, but he'll never escape what he's made up of. Bro, literally same with the demon blood, like, same with the demon blood, like, okay, Jesus can always reject his father. In this case, we're thinking of Sam Winchester as Jesus. He hates his dad. He hates John. He can always reject his father, but he cannot escape his mother's blood. His mother's blood, right? It wasn't his mother's demon blood that was being forced into him as a baby, but it's his mother's fault that that's happening to him. So you can see where my head's at. He'll scream and try and wash it off of his fingers, but he'll never escape what he's made up of. Bro, the entirety of his demon blood arc. Sam Winchester, you are the most tragic character in television ever. Okay, the final lyric I wrote down. The fates already fucked me sideways, swinging by my neck from the family tree. It was literally destined, bro. His fate was destined. Like, I'm sick to my stomach. Sometimes I'm having, like, a genuinely, like, a great day. I'm like, yay, 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 great day. And then I think about Sam Winchester. The fates did fuck him sideways. And he is swinging by his neck from the family tree. Ooh. Anyways, moving on. I'm going to try and keep this video shorter than the other ones, because I kind of just want to make this and put it out, because I'm kind of just feeling in a good mood today, and I look good, and life's an easy breeze. Easy breeze. That's me meeting Dan Howell. Hi. The next song that I put down is American Teenager. This one's kind of loosey-goosey. Just generally the vibes of this, I put down, just generally gives young Sam and Dean vibes. Kind of just that, like, navigating teenagehood, especially when you're in such a disgustingly awful situation like Sam and Dean were growing up. I quoted, this is what I wrote down. I said, I do it for my daddy and I do it for Dale. And then I wrote, like, come on. That's Dean Winchester, bro. I do it for my daddy. He do. At the end of the day, he do. Everything that Dean Winchester does, seasons, like, 1 through 3? Ish? Not even really. 1 through 2. He does it for his daddy. He does it for his daddy. Pre-show Dean Winchester, I do it for my daddy and I do it for Dale. And also, I just want to put this out there before we get into the next song. You can try and say, Emma, you're reading too much into this, like, blah-de-da-de-de-da, lest we forget that Ethel Cain is a Supernatural fan. At the end of the day, and a lot of these songs, genuinely, I'm like, you had to have thought about Dean Winchester when you wrote this. Like, he had to have been in the back of your mind. Like, I'm sorry, she's writing Willoughby Tucker, and I'm like, you just merged Sam and Dean Winchester and made him into a teenage boy. Like, you that is absolutely where you had to get that from, because there's no other way, bro. Anyways, next song I have is Fuck Me Eyes. My notes for this, I wrote, this is so obvious to me that it's actually laughable. This works kind of only if you subscribe to the Dean turned tricks for money theory, which was Jensen Ackles' idea to begin with. Just putting it out there. It doesn't only work if you subscribe to that theory. I think it works kind of just in general when you think about, like, Dean Winchester as a person, like, you know, hasn't held a steady relationship, like, ever. A steady, healthy relationship, like, ever. Hear me? You feel me? You hear me? You hear me? You see me? Are you seeing me and hearing me? I didn't write down any lyrics for this one because, honestly, it's just, like, listen to it. Nowhere to go. She's just along for the ride. She's scared of nothing but the passenger side. Like, if you really think about the idea of Dean turning tricks for money, again, which was Jensen Ackles' idea to begin with, actor who played Dean Winchester, it works. I'm also operating this video on the understanding that whoever's watching it has a baseline understanding of Ethel Cain and Supernatural, so I'm not getting super into depth with what I mean by this, because I feel like if you're a Supernatural fan and an Ethel Cain fan, you're just gonna get it. Like, the girls who get it, and the girls who don't. Like, I'm sorry. Next song I have is Dust Bowl, and the only thing I wrote down for this one was Sam literally said he wanted to be a writer. Like, I'm sick. You You'd be a writer if you didn't leave all this hell for you, bro. Smoking. Wait, what's the lyric? Cooking our brains, smoking that shit your daddy smoked in Vietnam. Okay, John Winchester served in Vietnam. Hello! Are we not seeing what I'm seeing? Do you hear what I hear? Like, are we on the same wavelength? Do we understand each other? Do you hear me? Do you feel me? I also think Dust Bowl works for Dean Winchester too. Like, pretty boy, natural blood-stained blonde. I feel like describes him a lot. Holes in Your Sneakers kind of reminds me of Sam. This one's kind of just like a mix, but I do feel it more for Sam than Dean. But I do hear it and I do feel it in my body and my soul. Next one I have is a real bummer. It's Knock at the Door. Ooh. I wrote quite a few notes for this one, it looks like. There's actually 2 notes, but they're long. Ooh, okay. I'm getting a little thinky here. I wrote, Dean to me is genuinely... I don't think I can say this word on YouTube. And this song to me reads a lot like Sam talking to Dean. And then I wrote, but honestly it can be switched, especially when Sam is hallucinating Lucifer, drinking demon blood, or doing the trials. No one wants to see their friend that they've known since they were just kids foam up and bite it on the floor. I think, yeah, you could relate that to Dean seeing what Sam was going through when they were doing the trials in later seasons. I don't remember what season that was. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't remember that. I'm good at remembering a lot of Supernatural, but ask me what season the trials were. Dog, I don't know. I don't know. But then for the first point, Sam talking to Dean, and Dean tried to earn himself multiple times in this show. Foam up and bite it on the floor? Okay, what about when he was in the hospital and he thought Sam was dead and he took all the pills? This one is also another one of the loosey-goosey ones, like American Teenager, but I do think it has aspects that remind me of Sam and Dean and their weird, codependent relationship with each other, which I will get into more because there's a couple songs on here that I put because of that relationship. And there's one. There he is. But anyway, I'm going to move on from A Knock at the Door. Next, Next I put Tempest. Ooh. I wrote 2 lyrics, and then I wrote, yeah, hi, Dean. Okay. I wrote, please just go easy on me. I am young and naive. I don't know what I need. And always on my own. Bruh. One thing you need to know about me is, as much as I love Sam Winchester down, Dean is my favorite brother, and he is my favorite character in that entire show. And one of my favorite activities is to psychoanalyze Dean Winchester. It's fun. It's a really fun activity, and if you haven't tried it, you should try it with a group of your friends. And invite me, maybe. God, I am young and naive. I don't know what I need. Oh! Like, if that's not Dean Winchester down, bro, I don't know what is, bro. Oh my god. Oh my god. Next one I put was Mondays. And now we're getting into unreleased territory. Like some SoundCloud stuff. I think everything after this is... Other than a few... Everything is SoundCloud stuff. Unreleased. Great. Mondays. I quoted, it's been too long since I've gotten laid and longer still since I've wanted it. And I said, oh, that's Dean. Yeah. I mean, again, if you want to subscribe to the theory, Dean Winchester turned tricks for money. It's been too long since I've gotten laid and longer still since I've wanted it. Like, if you want to get deep into it and you want to psychoanalyze, like, the CW show, like, I think you can and you should, and it's healthy, and I think it's a really good idea. I really, really do. Like, left my man in the middle of the highway. Won't be seen with him because it's embarrassing. He can be such a bitch and it makes me sick. Like, if I... Like, yeah, that's Dean Winchester, bro. He can be such a bitch. And it does make me sick, bro. I would probably leave his ass in the middle of the highway. Do you hear that wind? Another unreleased. I have A Portrait of My Love on Her Knees. Now this one's a little different. This one's a little different. I wrote, this is Cassie singing to Dean, and I'll die on that hill 100%. Quoted a lyric, I said, crying on the back porch while you looked away and told me we'll make it work or won't make it at all. Ah! Now listen, what? There's the second one. Hi. He knows I'm talking about him. One thing you're gonna figure out about me real quick is that I am a Destiel shipper. Dion. I'm a Destiel shipper. Dion. I live and breathe those two. Those are my bebes, my sweet small bebes. So, like, I'm never gonna give them up. But another thing about me is that second to that, I'm a Cassie and Dean shipper. Okay, I could not tell you the amount of times I've seen Route 666. Quite a few. It's definitely up there. More than all the fingers and toes on my body, you know? Definitely. But oh my god, crying on the back porch while you looked away and told me we'll make it work or won't make it at all. Like, that is just so Dean leaving her. Mm. They make me sick, bro. And as much as I love Lisa and Ben, like, I really truly do think that Dean should have gone back to Cassie. But he wanted that life, bro. He wanted to have a kid. But, like, honestly, he could. Moving on. We're gonna move on. Next up, I have Highway Horses. This one's gonna be painfully obvious, but I did make a little note for myself. Okay, I quoted it. First, we'll go with the song lyric. I said, highway horses, billboard crosses, staring at them from the motel parking lot with you. Highway horses, backroad corpses, nowhere to go, but at least I'm going with you. Obviously, this is Supernatural all the way. You can see where I'm getting my inspiration from with this song, but I did make a final note and I said, just Dean, but could be Destiel if you're #freaky. If you're with it, then you're with it. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. I really don't. Like, you just, it's kind of like a be there, be square. Yeah. And dang girl, I did not put a lot of thought into this. I put a lot of thought into it mentally, but like putting it on paper, I just wrote the immediate vibe I got and then just moved on. Great. Next up, we have Tongue. All I wrote for this was, I don't really need to explain how this is freaked out Destiel, right? Okay, so you do actually. Because that's what I'm here to do. I guess I could just be like fighting my way up to your tongue so I can die upon it. Like, felt like an angel just to please. Fell as an angel just to please. That's freaked out Destiel. Just like, that's freaked out Destiel. You know it, I know it, we can move on from it. Next. Ooh, I put Arsony. This one I didn't write a lot for. I just put one lyric and it said, God doesn't love you, not like I do. And then I wrote Destiel in all caps. God doesn't love you, not like I do. Like, I feel like that could go either way, too. Like, Cass talking to Dean, God doesn't love you, not like I do. And then Dean talking to Cass, bro, like, God doesn't love you, not like I do. Like, you just have to, oh my god, like, you really just have to be so dialed into it. You have to be so dialed in. First, I put Homecoming on this back page, and I just said, Carrie/Sam symbolism, yes please. I love thinking of Sam Winchester as a Carrie figure. I really, really, really do. I think it is such a good connection to make if you want to analyze Sam Winchester. Like, oh my god. Like, this kind of like Antichrist symbolism where you were wrong from the start and there's no escaping it. They're all gonna laugh at me. Sam spends seasons thinking that he is just this freak of nature. He's a monster. He needs to be killed. But then I also just put generally self-explanatory. Like, I think if you listen to it, you can really grasp what I'm trying to get at here. Like, just, oh my god. Sam, Carrie, Sam, Carrie, Sam, Carrie. Ooh. Okay, I put Eden next. The lyric I put was, in the valley where the angels sleep, you will come to regret me. I've done terrible things. And I put righteousness is gone, and then I wrote Destiel. To me, this was a lot of when I think it's maybe season 9. I don't remember. Season 9 maybe. When Dean and Cass are having that talk in the hotel room, and Dean sits down and he's like, talk to me. And Cass is like, I think that if I return to heaven and see what I've done, I'll myself. Righteousness is gone. But I also think righteousness is gone can work for Dean too, because he's supposed to be the righteous man. Like, him trying to explain that, like, I'm sick and twisted. I can't be a righteous man. You know? You hear me? Ooh, next I put Punish. And if you're familiar with Punish and Supernatural, I think you think that I'm gonna immediately say that this is Cass. Which, yes, I did put Cass as an inspiration for this, but I also think this is super Sam. I wrote Sam and Cass vibes. Like, I am punished by love. Like nature chews on me. Shame is sharp. Yeah, this is like Cass being like ostracized from heaven. All of that stuff. But I also do think it's very Sam Winchester to be like, I'm punished by love. Nature chews on me. The shame is sharp. Like, especially when he's drinking demon blood off of Ruby, like, he's never felt like he fit into humanity, bro. Like, oh my god, it brings me hurt. It brings me hurt. Anyway, we're gonna move on. Next, I put crush, bro. I wrote one thing for this, and I said, aw, like, yeah, it's about my man. Heart. And if you can't guess, like, yeah, I'm talking about Dean Winchester, like, bruh. When I listen to Crush, I just think about Dean Winchester. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I really don't. His daddy's on death row, but he'll say it with his chest, though. His friends moved dope. He hasn't tried coke, but he's always had a problem saying no. His older brother, but his little brother maybe, bagged the valedictorian. Can you read my mind? I've been watching you. We're gonna move on. Okay. Next I have Inbred. Listen. There's something so I think very gorgeous about me just singing a Tyler Catastrophe song when I'm trying to talk about Inbred by Ethel Cain. I'm sorry. I wrote one note for this and it said, right, so like there's a lot to say about this and I'll just tap the dome for it later. Thanks past me. This is now gonna be me tapping my dome for it later. Thank you. Inbred. Again, like I said, Sam and Dean Winchester have such a codependent, toxic familial relationship that it sometimes can cross lines and boundaries that a normal sibling relationship wouldn't. And I'm not saying that I ship that specific thing. I don't. I think it's gross. And I don't have a headcanon or theory that it ever happened between them. I just mean, like, constantly dying and reviving your sibling does create an unhealthy bond. They were stuck together in this really shitty childhood with a shitty dad and no mom, and they had to take on roles in the family dynamic that they wouldn't have normally had to take on, like Dean taking on a very motherly, wifey role to John and a motherly role to Sam, and Sam kind of being able to have a very small last shred of childhood because of what Dean stepped up to give him. Notice how my tone got really serious? I don't play about this. No. But Inbred, like, there's just something so you can't win them all. Who knows how much longer I'll lay on the floor, touch me till I vomit. I'm not scared of God. I'm scared he was gone all along. You know? That's my sister meeting Marcelo Hernandez. I'm sorry. I'm not scared of God. Oh my god. Like, if you just listen to Inbred with the lens of a very toxic sibling dynamic, like, you can get what I mean. Because there is a toxic sibling dynamic in Inbred. They're not... What people don't understand about the song Inbred is that there isn't a relationship between the singer who is singing the song, the protagonist, and her brother. It's a bad relationship between the protagonist and her father. And the brother acts as a protective figure who gets in trouble with the law and he notices what the father is doing to his sister and doesn't like it. That is the story of Inbred. It is not brother and sister. Okay? So just understand that and breathe with it. I'm going to move on because I will be talking about this specific relationship dynamic again. So chill. Next, I put God's Country Demo 3 because, oh my god, you're not your father, but you wear his clothes to bed. Tell me that's not Dean. First episode of the show, we see this motherfucker stealing that guy's coat. His leather jacket, pal. I've seen it be done. You're not your father, but you wear his clothes to bed, like I'm gonna go crazy with it. I'm gonna move on. Next, I put Famous Last Words. I quoted this one twice. Ooh, because I had a really good thought about this one. I wrote the lyrics. My lips are still burnt from kissing your face, and feverish forehead, the blood that you waste. And then eat of me, baby, skin to the bone, body on body until I'm all gone, but I'm with you inside. And then I just wrote Sam and Ruby. You hear those lyrics and you don't tell me that, like, you didn't immediately also think of Sam and Ruby? I'm gonna move on. Next I put Bruises, and I actually... Wow, I wrote a lot for Bruises. I wrote a lot for Bruises. First lyric I wrote, something happened back when you were young, and I just wrote Dean in all caps next to it. Okay, girl. And I think when I wrote that, I was thinking of when Dean I believe he's like 4 or 5, when he witnesses John kill the shapeshifter outside of the roadhouse, but the shapeshifter wasn't in shifter form, it was in human form, so it just looked like John killed a person. And Dean witnessed it. Another lyric I wrote was, you spent your whole life trying to be tough because your parents married pain to love. Dang, bro. I might get upset. That's making me upset. Another lyric I wrote was, you're 25 and you're still crying in your sleep. And you've tried every bottle, but you're in too deep. Tell me that's not Dean Winchester alcoholism. Like, clock it. Last lyric I wrote was, you're so scared you'll make the mistakes you had to watch your daddy make. Bro! How many times throughout that show is Dean scared and nervous that he's going to end up like his father? I think at least 10. At least 10, at least once a season. That's for sure. But anyway, yeah. Bruises is just Dean Winchester down, and like that's really all I have to say about it. Moving on. Ooh, next I have Bambi, and Bambi's a really short song. It's tiny. There's not many lyrics in it, but I did write down one. Said, I don't want to play, but you were born game. And then I just wrote Sam in all caps next to it. Like, Sam was literally born game. Oh my god, like, he never had a shot. Like, Dean might be my favorite character, and I love analyzing him, but to me, the most tragic character is Sam Winchester. Like, I mourn everything that he could have been. Same with Dean, but, like, kind of Sam more so sometimes. I don't know. Okay, next, and... you're just gonna have to bear with me a little bit here. I put 2 children in a motel, and I said, ignoring the implications, the other parts have lyrics/vibes I can connect with Sam and Dean. And I didn't write down any lyrics, of course. But, I mean, it has the same vibe. Like, this one is definitely about a sibling relationship. And I would not be surprised if Ethel Cain ever said that she was inspired by Supernatural to write the song, because she personally does or did previously ship that bad ship. But I do think that 2 children in a motel kind of outlines this toxic, taboo relationship between 2 siblings that I do think shares some points with Sam and Dean Winchester, and I think it's an appropriate conversation to have. If you want to talk about a weird sibling dynamic, you can have that without having the actual along with it, okay? We're gonna move on. Next, I have adolescence. Oh. I am too young to feel this old. I don't miss the soul I sold. That is Dean, bro. That is Dean. Another like I wrote down was I thought that aging would put me at ease, but I'm ruptured inside since I turned 17. And if you didn't know, 17 was the birthday that John sent him out to kill those 2 dead lesbian nuns on his own. Anybody care? Ruptured inside since I was 17. Yeah, I know that's right. So my final 2, I have 2 more. Just 2 more. And to me, they're kind of sister songs of the same event in Sam and Dean's life, but from different perspectives. So I'm going to start, I believe I'm starting with Sam's perspective. Yes. And it is Great Wide Nowhere. The event is Sam leaving Dean and John to go to Stanford. I wrote down one lyric, but I know there's more in the song. If I don't leave home, I'm scared I'll die here. Sam just wanted out! And I just wrote, actually devastating my baby. I think Great Wide Nowhere is Sam leaving from Sam's perspective, just like, I need to get out of this. I think the song talks a lot about, like, dead end town or some shit like that. But if I don't leave home, I'm scared I'll die here. If I don't leave home, I'm scared I'll die here. It's not even like, I'll get old, work some dead end job, and I'll die. Like, he will literally die if he keeps hunting at this rate that his dad and his brother want him to do. Like, I'm sick, I'm sick, I'm sick, I'm sick, I'm sick, I'm sick. And then from Dean's perspective, I have Age of Delilah. Oh my god, I wrote Sam leaving for school, mostly Dean's perspective, a little Sam. In my head, Age of Delilah and Great Wide Nowhere are sister songs. Brothers, even. And just give me 1 second, because I didn't write a lot of these lyrics down, but I know for a fact that I, like, deep dove into these 2 songs after I did all this, because I was like, wow, these are sister songs of the same exact event between the brothers, and I know there's better lyrics that I can give you, so I'm gonna find them really quick. Okay, yes, for Great Wide Nowhere, starting off the first verse, bro, it's easier to spin in circles when you're 4 years old, when falling's not a problem because you're not the one scrubbing the grass stains out of your clothes. Like, I imagine that as, like, Sam getting to have some semblance of a childhood because Dean was taking care of him. Dean was acting as mom. So he could have that little last shred of being a kid. It's harder when the world spins circles while you're standing still, 22, crying on the bathroom floor, dizzy against my will, bro. And 22, bro, is when Dean comes to get Sam. To start the show, like, Sam's only 22. Like, I'm older than Sam Winchester when Dean got him in the pilot episode. And I'm the real age Jared Padalecki was when he started filming the show. Like, I'm pissed. I'm pissed and I'm sick. Exactly, bro. Chorus. If I don't leave home, I'm scared I'll die here, but the Great Wide Nowhere is just as terrifying. And I could suffocate somewhere I know or somewhere I've never been. I'm just as scared of living as I am of dying. Like, if you tell me that's not Sam Winchester, if you tell me that's not Sam Winchester, you're lying to yourself and to me. Verse 2. And God, please make me feel better because I don't feel so well. I swear it didn't used to be this hard. Sam is shown to be religious, bro. Like, but my mama's gonna die and my daddy's gonna die and the world's gonna catch fire and I'll just be here watching it go. Sooner or later, it all goes. Replace mama with Dean. Or my brother. My brother's gonna die and my daddy's gonna die. Bro. And then onto Age of Delilah. More lyrics, bro. My nyan. It hurts to grow up when your knees are still cut, but for us, life's never been without blood. Bro, throw it back to Great Wide Nowhere. We're talking about it's easier to spin in circles when you're 4 years old and you're not the one cleaning the grass stains out of your clothes. And it hurts to grow up when your knees are still cut. There's connections. I'm making connections. But for us, life's never been without blood. Tell me that's not Dean talking to Sam. Oh! I'm getting life's cold goodbye wave from the dark of the driveway, crying, I'm no good at goodbyes, so I leave it to the lights. Can you just tell me which way I'm driving, interstate or the highway? I'm going. I'm ready. Tell me that isn't Sam just fucking leaving for Stanford because that's what he does. Like, he just gets the fuck out of there when it's time for him to go. And that's when John says, if you're going, do not come back. Like, I don't want to see your ugly mug ever again. And Sam's like, word, 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 bae. Bro, it's actually devastating, bro. There comes a day you find out that you don't want to die. They'll say, it's time you finally grew up. You've been gone for quite a while. But they'll never ask why. And they ask how it felt to suffocate myself, but not everything feels like something else. 20 till midnight at gas stations, praying to a stranger's dogs in the parking lot. I asked, have I done enough for salvation? They said, you'll die if you leave it up to God. Said, I've been drinking from this river till I bled it dry, but they looked me dead in the eyes and said, it doesn't matter if the grass is greener on the other side, as long as it's alive. I'm actually gonna start crying. I love Supernatural so much. I just want you to think about that happening to Dean after Sam leaves for Stanford. And I also want you to know that after Sam goes to Stanford, John's like pissed at Sam for leaving. So Dean, in an effort to like make his dad happy, proudly announces to him that he's like, I've cut off Sam. I'm no longer talking to him. Aren't you so pleased? And then John's like, dang, I really wish I didn't push my boys to this. And that's all written in John's journal, which I have over there. But that is literally all I have for you. Oh my god, that's me and my good friend meeting Sean Astin. Hi. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. This one's going to be a little bit shorter. Probably going to round out 35 minutes, half an hour. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. I hope. I don't know what the next video is going to be or when it will be uploaded. I'm talking like I have a million fans. But to me, you know, it's like dress for the job that you want. Okay. Goodbye.